Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with an Eight of Pentacles. That's a very good card. That's very, very thoughtful. All right, let's put it into some context. Let's see what is going on with that. Oh, also a Ten of Cups. Well, that is quite delightful. Already some very good energies. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, we've got a Three of Swords and a Three of Cups. We've got your Cancer energy over here, which we usually have, which, Cancer is your opposite sign, Capricorn. So that's very significant to you. This looks like a very good set of cards to me. But let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we're just going to maybe stop right there and put it over here. Simon Ripley on top of that for us to keep an eye on it. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, put your answer in the comments below. Right? It's a group effort. It's a group exercise. Let's practice our intuition here together. Okay. All right, let's look here at these cards. I noticed that the only major arcana card we have is this moon energy back here, right? We've got some fire. We've got water. We've got some water. Oh, and this one too. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of water. We've got our air. And of course we have our earth here and here. So it's fairly balanced. It's very heavy on the water. We're going to say that. So I think that with the abundance of water here, there's a lot of emotional stuff going on with you right now. I think that you are probably dealing with a lot of emotional stress, a lot of like processing a lot, right, from the past. Because I see with this moon energy here that we've recently transitioned into a new kind of energy. Something in our life has changed quite significantly recently. Okay. Well, let's start at the beginning. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. You're someone who's very cautious, very prudent, which is the key word for this card. You take your time with things. I think change is a gradual thing for you. It's not something, you don't like surprises, right? You don't like things to just suddenly be different, right? We don't really appreciate the tower moments. So I think there was a lot going on here. Maybe this was a little abrupt, right? Maybe this was a little, maybe not abrupt, like just suddenly one day everything was different, but it was unexpected, right? And I think that it takes you a while to adjust, to change. You're somebody that kind of likes to know what's going on so you can have a little bit of control, not only over the situation necessarily, but control over how you're going to react to the new circumstances and to slowly acclimate, right? It's kind of like, with the Capricorn, with the goat, with the mountain climbing kind of thing. You've got to ascend slowly to get used to the new atmosphere, right? To get your lungs working, to get used to the level of oxygen concentration in the air, and then you can climb a little bit higher, right? So I think right now you're in a very cautious kind of energy. okay, where you're trying to just ease into a new set of circumstances, maybe a new job, maybe a new family dynamic, maybe something new at school, maybe something new in, if you're older, if you're retired. It's just a new dynamic between family, friends, between your activities, your schedule, the things that you're committing yourself to, right? Situations are different than they were. Yeah. But the really good thing about that is the opportunity for so much more satisfaction. This is a 10 of Cups. This is satiety. This is feeling like you're at the buffet and you can have your pick of all of the food that they have out, and you can have as much of it as you like, right? We have to be careful not to go overboard, because then we're going to end up with this 7 of Cups here, where we're going to feel a little sick because we have, maybe consumed a little too much. But the potential with the 10 of Cups is fantastic. I think you're adjusting to this new set of circumstances, new dynamic, new place, whatever it is. And you're easing into it, right? And the more you ease into it, you're still cautious. The more you ease into it, I think the more you're going to realize there's a lot of fun here, a lot of pleasure, a lot of opportunity for fulfillment and satisfaction. It really is a place where you can pursue your purpose, your happiness. There's a lot for you to do, a lot for you to enjoy, but not on a superficial level. I feel like it's a deeper level than that, right? Where you have real soul satisfaction, real opportunity for you to follow your bliss, right? I'm almost wondering now if the mystery card's going to be a 9 of Cups. And we got the 10, and I like to say that the sweet spot of the tarot is right between the 9 and the 10 of Cups. Like a 9.5, it's perfect. Because the 10 is kind of the ideal. It's kind of like the pinnacle of happiness, the picture-perfect life, the ideal. And this is one of those moving goalposts, right? Because as soon as we feel like I have everything I want in the world, and then you start thinking, well, I could do better. I could get more. I could have more meaning, more purpose, more satisfaction in my life. So we start pushing this 10 of Cups a little bit further away, right? So we're like at a 9.5. That's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. Because otherwise, I think too much of the same thing, too much of the good thing, without kind of moving the goalpost back, will lead us to a 7 of Cups, which is what we kind of have at the end, a potential outcome here with the 7 of Cups, feeling that we've eaten too much, feeling that we're just kind of disgusted with how much we've been, consuming, enjoying, and it's when we get to this point, we know we've got to leave the buffet, right? This is where you don't even want to look at food anymore. But with this card, it's good to notice when we're approaching that, so that we can then move the 10 of Cups back. We can move the goalpost a little bit. We can move the finish line. We can expand our purpose, expand our meaning and our connection and the significance of our lives. This isn't about food, but I like to use the food metaphors. I film in the morning before I have breakfast, right? I do intermittent fasting. So I'm always very hungry. Anyway, back to the task at hand. The moon energy in the recent past position. This was a shift. And this was something that I think you weren't really looking forward to. But I think now that we're here, we're seeing the light. Things are getting more clear. See, the sun is rising into this dark landscape. So this could be talking about a rite of passage, a shift in your living situation, in the stage of life that you're in, right? From family to school, or from school to work, or from work to retirement, or, that's kind of the traditional way, but any kind of rite of passage. And it's always a little daunting because, yes, others have been there before us, and they can tell us, hey, it's okay on the other side. But when you're confronted with that abyss, that chasm, it could be a little daunting, right? So I think we're all a little bit fearful to take that step into the next phase of our lives, right? Because we haven't been there before, and others can reassure us, but that doesn't help always. So I think this is kind of where we're at. I think that we're crossing this threshold, and this sun is rising, which means that you're seeing things more and more clearly as you ease into it. It's not just like a blind leap. This seems to be a more gradual shift. And again, it could be something that happened as a bit of a surprise. Suddenly you're in a new set of circumstances, but it's almost as if we're not passing judgment on it yet. I'm going to ease into it. You're giving it a chance, right? Giving it a chance. And that's kind of what you do. Here's the Seven of Wands. This is up above everything. This is, this card always kind of represents a struggle. It always represents some sort of opposition, but it's the confidence in the face of tremendous opposition. Okay, so you're a fighter. You're somebody that isn't going to give up. You're not just, and that's what I mean, you're not going to pass judgment on this situation. You're thinking, I can do it. I can make the most of this. It's kind of like trying to look on the bright side of things. But that seems to me a little bit more complacent than you feel. I'm feeling not so much looking on the bright side, but being the light to make this the bright side. You know, it's all about the energy that you take into this situation. Now, you could just say, well, this is going to be miserable. I'm going to hate it. And then you will. You will be miserable. You will hate it. Or you could look at it as more of a challenge. Be like, okay, a new set of circumstances. It's kind of exciting to be in a new place, to have to learn new things, do new things, whatever it is. Meet new people, form new relationships, or maybe you're moving into a different career, a different job, going to university. Maybe we're shifting into retirement, right? So everything that's familiar to us is kind of changed now. Now we're confronted with a lot more time, or a lot less time, right? Whatever the case may be. It's all in our approach, and I think you have a very kind of hard-working approach to things, very confident approach. So I think you're the type of person that there is no challenge too great for you. There's nothing that you can't handle. With this card, especially since this is at the top of the path of the dove, and it is our primary fire energy. There's a little bit of fire here in the Knight of Cups, but this is our primary fire energy. I almost wonder if you're perhaps military, ex-military, a veteran. If you are, thank you for your service. I mean that. Maybe law enforcement, maybe some sort of emergency services, right? I kind of get that vibe from you, that you're used to kind of going into a relatively unknown situation. See, I was an EMT for a brief period of time. That doesn't compare, I think, to the energy I'm feeling from you, but it's the idea of kind of getting very limited information, right? You get a call, says you got to go to this address, something's wrong. Okay. There's not a lot of information, right? We don't know what we're walking into. And once we get there, we've got to figure out what's going on. We've got to make sense of it all. This is us making sense of it all. This is us understanding and being able to adapt to any situation. And this is something that you're used to. Between this and the Seven of Wands, it does feel like you might be in some sort of emergency services or a veteran or something like that. Again, thank you for your service. This is the ability to go into any situation and kind of be guided intuitively, to kind of follow your heart and allow your mind to then respond to people and form connections and build a rapport, There's a deeper understanding of people. And it's not really an intellectual understanding, it's a vibe, right? It's a heartfelt thing. It's a feeling that you get. And then your mind is able to build the rapport based on that kind of vibe. Like you can You can feel people out quite easily. So all of this being said, this Ten of Cups is really a huge potential for you. Whatever situation you're in really could be the best thing. Really could be the most pleasure and satisfaction and fulfillment that you've had. Especially looking in the future at this Prince of Pentacles. This is the builder, right? This is now an eagerness to keep going, to make more of this, to take advantage of this. Landing in this situation, it's not just, I'm going to try to make the most of it, I'm going to just bide my time and try to get what I can out of it. No, it's almost like you're taking charge. Like you're going to be the top dog in this place, and you're going to be the one to kind of lead this, and it's going to grow and grow and grow into something absolutely magnificent, right? And, again, I don't know if this is a work situation, if it's something at school, if it's a family thing, if you're starting your own business, if you're kind of leaving the rat race and you're into your retirement years, whatever the case is. The builder says, I'm not just going to quietly run out the clock. I'm going to take charge and make this the absolute best thing that's ever happened to me. And I think the more you ease into it, again, we're kind of easing into it, the more you see the wonderful potential that this has. And now we're going to shift to the path of the serpent, because there's some other things we've got to deal with here. And as we make this transition, I want to ask you for your subscription. Right? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Hit the like button. Leave a comment for me. Right? I love hearing from you. Okay, so Three of Swords. A Three of Swords here. There is a tendency, and maybe this is just kind of one alternative, right? Maybe this is reality A, maybe this is reality B, right? Reality B. The Three of Swords, this is our ability to essentially to visualize, to remember, recreate. We're revitalizing some emotional energy in us. It's usually us. The way this card works out in practice is we're ruminating on an experience. We're living in a memory. Most of the time with this card, it's a painful memory. There's some sort of sorrow or trauma that we keep reliving, re-experiencing. And we're re-injuring ourselves every time we do that, right? As far as the mind, the emotions, the subconscious, whatever, as far as all of that is concerned, it's happening right now. Right? Because we start thinking about something that happened in the past, we start feeling the pain of it again. And that's another wound. Or that's a wound that keeps opening, that won't close. Okay? But this card is not all shadow. There is light to this shadow too. Because we can also, as far as the unconscious goes, there's no linear time. Right? That's why something from the past, if we visualize it now and relive it now, then it's happening now. So what's stopping us from projecting that into the future and envisioning, imagining, maybe reliving, right, something that hasn't happened yet, but visualizing yourself in a place of success and happiness and love and all of this wonderful, wonderful stuff. And then we'll start feeling that, because that's happening now as far as our unconscious, our emotions are concerned. So this card is really about the power of understanding the process of creation on the mental plane. Whatever you are, whatever program you're running in your mind, that's what's happening right now. Right? So let's imagine what the future state is that we wish for. Let's imagine this Ten of Cups. What would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it smell like? Right? What would the food be like? And let's start experiencing that now. And I guarantee a smile is going to form on your face, whether you like it or not. You can't help but smile when you do this practice. And that's the kind of energy that we want right now, because that's going to allow us to then create that. That's what we're attracting. And we've got the Three of Cups here. So it's kind of, these two go hand in hand right now. Okay? And the Three of Cups is in the position of the environment. So imagine the kind of environment that you want this to be. right? What does your Ten of Cups look like? What is your absolute kind of happiest that you could ever be, your most wonderful fulfillment? What would that look like? What would it feel like, taste like, all that? And that's kind of the abundance, the celebration, the love in your environment. The Three of Cups is all about the process of creation now on the emotional plane, right? So we do it mentally and we feel it emotionally. That's why these two cards are basically the same card. The only thing we need next is the Three of Pentacles, right? To kind of add the physical reality, to bring it here to our physical location at this moment. This is the power of attraction. This is the law of attraction here. This is how you manifest. Okay. A Three of Wands would be quite nice too. Maybe the mystery card will give us another 3. But in the environment, a lot of celebration, right? A lot of sense of community, a sense of connection, right? A lot of kind of sharing the love, right? So it could be that you're making friends here, right? Forming bonds, getting along with people, and then some, making lasting connections. This is really good energy. Now we've got the Knight. We got the Knight of Cups here, and this is your opposite energy. It's kind of your shadow energy. It's your Cancer energy, which is, Cancer and Capricorn are opposite signs in astrology. So this is kind of the hidden thing in you. And this is underneath the surface. This is the card that you kind of don't want. This is what's being kind of rejected or relegated to, some kind of shadow energy. And I think Capricorn, you might have this, how do I say this? You might have a bit of a rough personality at times. You might be someone that has a look on their face that they don't really want to make friends. The Capricorn energy likes to do things themselves, likes to be solo, right? So we're kind of rejecting this Cancer energy in the sense that we put up a little bit of a persona, a little bit of a facade perhaps, that we don't really want connections, right? And it might not even be intentionally. Some people say that my face during the day, that I just look angry, right? It's just my face, right? And I think it's kind of the same thing, where underneath it all, no, you really do want the bonds, the connections, the giving and receiving of love and affection and kindness that is represented by the Knight of Cups here. See, this Knight is offering and also receiving at the same time, okay? And this is what you want. It may be hard, it may be difficult for you, for whatever reason, to do that, to offer love and affection and to receive love and affection. And it could be because we've got this kind of resting, angry face. Or there's just this, and it could be a pride. There's a lot of things with Capricorn that could kind of get in the way of that, right? It's just, it's a matter of realizing that we need this, right? And learning how to soften ourselves a little bit so that we can extend this cup to other people and that we can receive a cup from others, right? This is the energy that's going to bring about that Two of Cups, right? Where the people are exchanging those cups, right? That love. So this card's kind of about making the first move to making the gesture, right? The acts of kindness, the showing of affection, even just a wave, a smile, a hello, right? I've been trying to do that more lately, not wait for other people to say hello to me, but be the one to kind of, to initiate that. I want to say hello first, rather than just not doing it and waiting for someone to say it and then I respond, right? So this card is kind of about taking the initiative here, okay? Now the Seven of Cups we have to talk about too. This is kind of a potential outcome here, which I think is really the spoilage. And I think if we, on this kind of universe here, this timeline here, if we ignore the Knight of Cups, I think perhaps we're going to squander what could be a really fantastic opportunity. Right? This is kind of, well, in one sense, we've eaten too much of the same thing, and now we've ruined it. We've ruined the whole experience, and we just want to get out of here. So in that kind of sense, it is really about making sure that we don't just kind of stagnate where we are, that we continually try to grow and push that Ten of Cups back. Because if we achieve everything and then we stop striving, we're going to get sick of what we have. We're going to get sick of this lack of progress now, right? It's a 10. It's a structure, right? It's the ideal structure, and that needs to be organic, right? It needs to grow, and if it doesn't, then I think it's gonna spoil, okay? And then at the same time, this card's also saying that if we don't take advantage of the situation and extend our love and receive love, we're going to squander a very, very good opportunity. Okay. So I have a lot of theories for the mystery card, either a 3 of anything or a 2 of Cups, or perhaps a reinforcement of the Cancer energy, maybe the Chariot, maybe this will be the Devil card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments below, and then I think we should just reveal it. If you want to pause the video or something, go ahead. Let's just take a look, okay? Well, it's the Hierophant. It's the Hierophant. I wasn't expecting this. Interesting. I feel like this is an important message from your higher self, God, Goddess, Deity. Spirit is speaking directly to you. I feel like this card's also, well, it's related to the Prince of Pentacles. It's the fixed earth energy. It's kind of a Taurus energy in both of these. So there is this idea of, this is the next phase of life for you. And it is your duty, your mission to build this part of your life, right? This is what you're meant to do right now. But with the Taurus energy and with the Hierophant, there's this idea of something being too fixed, right? Of there being a limit to something, of us being stuck in our ways, perhaps a little bit stubborn. And that might be talking specifically about softening and allowing more love to kind of flow in and out, because there's a little bit of this stubbornness. I feel like we're stuck in a certain way of doing things, and it's maybe making our adjustment to these new circumstances more difficult than it needs to be. So we want to have the patience, we want to have the prudence, we want to have the caution, we want to ease into it, we want to acclimate, but we don't want to get stuck there. We don't want to stop making this kind of progress. Maybe this is slow progress. It's a gradual adjustment, yes, as long as there's some movement there, right? This Taurus energy has a tendency to fixate on a certain way of doing things or a certain methodology and just won't deviate. Even when the circumstances are changed, we're still doing things the same exact way. We won't adapt, we won't change, we won't, it's a real stubbornness there. So I think that this might be part of the message too, is that we need to be a little bit more fluid. We need to be a little bit more flexible and adaptable. And that's kind of the Cancer energy that we see with the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I think this is good. I think you're really going to thrive in this situation. I think it's just going to be wonderful for you. I think you really will find a tremendous amount of love and satisfaction in this new area, whatever it might be. All right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just Capricorn, but every sign. You can check your other placements, maybe check the Cancer reading, maybe check the Taurus reading as well. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. Your readings come out Thursdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.